Hi, I'm Ed Conley, and I practice awakening or awareness, are they different, in everyday situations, both objectively out there in the news or in your everyday life. A Zen master once, a student asked his master, "What is the way?" And the master said, "Your everyday mind is the way." And that's where we practice awakening awareness. Yes, awakening awareness. So we're looking at the current issue at hand, the Ross shooting of Renee Good. And I'm looking at humiliation as being the cause of this tragedy. Humiliation. And so I was watching the movie Victoria on Netflix last couple of weeks. Great movie. And this was about the humiliation of Prince Albert and how he lived with it, how he overcame it. Prince Albert was a prince, German prince, who was living as the husband of Queen Victoria. And the dilemma was that he was a man and he was a husband, and the wife vows obedience to the husband, but the wife was a queen. So there was this constant tension between I'm the man, I'm the husband, but I have to bow to the queen. Now, is the queen my wife, or is the queen the queen? Which is it? This is the dilemma. If you say the queen is not your wife, you're wrong. If you say the queen is my wife but not the queen, you're wrong. This is a dilemma. And humiliation is the eruption of this dilemma. You see it in your kitchen. Divorce. What's the cause of divorce? You can trace it back to humiliation. The man feels humiliated by a strong woman. Or the wife feels humiliated by a controlling man. If one controls the other, one feels powerful, the other feels intimidated and humiliated. And if the one in control is not, his intimidation does not work, and the wife is not intimidated, he feels humiliated. And this was the factor or the dilemma in the Ross Good incident. I've been talking about this now, but it's at the root of humiliation. So let's get into how do you work with humiliation as the practice of awakening awareness. You have to start with the tiny little prick. You're in relationship with somebody, and we all want to be respected. We all want to be honored. We all want to have our opinion appreciated. We all want to be we all want to be in control of a situation. So this very idea of being in control means that the other in any situation will bow to you. Oh, you're right. You're right, you see. But if that surrender is not complete and there's resistance, maybe a passive-aggressive surrender like, yes, sir, something like that, you see, there's a prick of humiliation in there. You're not getting real respect. You're getting pretend respect. And this creates a building wah-wah of humiliation. Humiliation that explodes into a shooting or a divorce or a fight is by 1,000 pricks. 1,000 simple humiliations that build a grievance, wah, 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 like wah, wah in the amplifier, wah, 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 explodes. And a very simple incident can trigger an explosion. Excuse me. Prisons are full of people in prison who are saying, I just went to get some gas and now I'm in prison. Some guy humiliated me and I shot him. The humiliation is always the tip of an iceberg, a graduating storm of tiny humiliations that come to a saturation point where you can't take it anymore and you explode in anger or violence to get rid of the humiliation once and for all. So even committing murder and going to jail for the rest of your life, in that terms, is worth it. I got rid of the humiliation. I won't be humiliated anymore. Yes, I've restored my integrity, you see. So you have to look at humiliation in order to practice awareness. So how do you do that? Well, in your relationship, humiliation is everywhere. The clerk humiliates you. Just listen to people talk. They come to you, if you're a listening friend, and they unload their humiliations. They vent their building anger so it won't build up in them. They vent their humiliation on you so it won't build up like a volcano in them. So they leave relieved, and you're sitting there, with your whole room vibrating with their anger. Now, how do you get rid of it? So we pass humiliations on, you see. But let's get to the root here, if I can ever do that. The practice of humiliation starts with seeing the humiliation at its root when it begins, not after it blows up. Now you're looking back on it afterwards. Oh, I'll never do that again. Oh, I'm sorry. You can't deal with humiliation by saying, I'm sorry. You have to see the humiliation before it escalates into your story of humiliation. I get Rodney Dangerfield, you see. I get no respect. So you have to catch the first prick of humiliation and allow it before it becomes part of your story. So you have to look at it as just a feeling. That's the little unpleasant feeling. The moment you say, I hurt who did it, you're off to the races. But if you say there is an unpleasant feeling and nobody did it, there's just a feeling, it has no cause, it's just a feeling. It'll melt. The ice will melt and it'll flow on. But the moment you say, I hurt, I'm insulted, I'm not respected, the moment you add I to it, it's not a feeling anymore. Now that little feeling is integrated into your grievance. Just one more step, one more grievance, you see. And that builds and builds and builds until there is an inevitable explosion over some simple thing, like the wrong turn of a car in a traffic stop, or the smile of Renee Good, who looked at her, this intimidating Iceman, and says, hey, dude, I'm not mad at you. And she smiles. She wasn't intimidated by his power. So he shot her. Bam, bam, bam. He shot her. Bam, bam, bam. Prisons are full of people who exploded because of the grievance of humiliation, the gathering storm of tiny, tiny, tiny humiliations until there's a volcanic eruption. Anyway, thanks for dropping in. I hope I dropped the load on you here. Hope I dropped something to perk with you. Just think about where are the humiliations in my life? What humiliates me? What does that feel like? Where does humiliation lead? Thanks for dropping in. Subscribe and kick this can down the road. Prince Albert in a can. That's what we got here. Prince Albert in a can.